Alright, this is 2. In this video, we're going to show you guys how to do a 2-stage window tint install on this 2013 Toyota Tacoma, which is the 2nd generation Tacoma. So we'll show you all the tools as well as the step-by-step. So let's get right into it. Okay, I'm going to start by just spraying my glass on the outside and just wiping my window, as well as just outside of where I'm going to tint. Then we're going to go ahead and clean the inside of our glass. Spray some slip down. I'm going to use my Tint doodle bug. Just make sure I get contact on every inch of this glass. I'm also going to wipe the top here once or twice, being that it's usually the dirtiest part of the glass. I'm going to use my soft squeegee and just squeegee left to right here, making sure I don't miss any of my slip solution. Go for my easy reach and just squeegee my sides. So now we're going to go to the outside here. We're going to lay our film. I'm going to put some slip down. And we're going to put our film right above this glass, making sure that we have full coverage of the glass on the left, right, and the top. We'll go ahead and lock this in place. That makes it so that the film won't shift on me. Now I'm just going to trim some of the extra that I have here, just to make my workspace a little cleaner. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my silver Sharpie, and we're going to mark down all of our lines. This will let us know where we have to cut when we take it to the peel board. From here, I'm just going to roll my window down. And we're going to make this top cut here now. I'm going to take out about 3 notches on this blade, poke right through my film, and I'm going to smoothly ride this all the way to the end. Pulling away. Now let's just go over to our cut board and trace these lines. I'm going to cut these lines by lining up my ruler right on my marking, but I am going to move this towards the outside of the glass at about 1/8 of an inch. This is just going to give me a little bit of extra to make sure that I cover all light gaps. We're going to do the same thing on all 4 sides. Just giving myself a little bit extra film. Around my edges. More. So I'm going to go ahead and put my film back on the glass here. I'm going to leave about a 2-inch gap on the bottom, and I'm going to use my horseshoe method. Essentially, I'm just going to lock this film in using a large horseshoe shape, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of any slip behind the glass. I'm going to grab my heat gun now. We're going to put it on high heat as well as high power, and we're going to try to shrink any fingers that may appear. There's one. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double snap this, meaning I'm going to shrink it a second time just for insurance. I'm essentially creating my own fingers, and I'm going to shrink those now. This makes sure that I have a very tight fit on my glass. And from here, I'm just going to reposition my film down, just slightly below the glass. And now we can go ahead and start prepping. So that means I'm going to put some slip down. Once again, just squeegee from side to side. Making sure I don't miss any part of my glass. I'm going to use my easy reach. And from here, I'm going to put some slip now for the install. I'm going to flush each side as well. I'm going to come back to the outside of our car here And we're going to pull the liner down about 80% of the way. Pulling straight down, 80% of the way down. And from here, we're going to put slip on again. I'm going to line myself up with my door here. I'm going to grab one side. I'm going to run my fingers just along the top edge, making minimal contact with the film, just enough to grab. We're going to pull this off the door. Go ahead and just swing it to the side here. We're going to start by laying out our long side over here. And if you see here, I'm just touching the film to the glass just so that it does not free float and so that I have some control. Once I'm here, we're going to go ahead and start shoving the film to the left gently. We don't want to crease anything down here, so we're going to just move this gently. And when we get here, we're going to have a little bit of overlap on the far side, and that's okay. We just got to turn this film over. From here, I'm just going to adjust my film height like it, making sure I still have a small light gap. We're going to squeegee. We're just going to dress it. I'm using my light squeegee in this case. You can use your easy reach. You just squeegee this side. Now we're going to do that a second time now. We're going to use our blue mat and just lock it in place. From here, I'm just going to roll my window all the way up. Now I want to have control of this film here where the water line is at. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm actually going to pull up and grab my tint and go ahead and pull my liner off gently. And as I do that, I'm keeping control so that my film does not touch the door card. We're going to use some of our slip to actually flush this window, which was just behind the door card. And we're going to put a little bit as well on the film. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of tension on my right side, pulling away from that corner. That allows me to roll the film in place. And I want to get this bottom corner here inside behind the gasket, and I can push it back in place. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to tension away, get our film behind the gasket, and push it back in. From here, I just have a small bubble here that I just have to open up. Now my film on the bottom is pretty much flat. Now there is still a kink here that I need to open up. The way you do that is you get your easy reach and you just gently open up the bottom. Now I can see that my film is completely behind my gasket. From here, it's really simple. I'm just going to put a little bit of slip down. We're going to squeegee first using our soft squeegee, starting where we can see that the water. Okay, so there's a small detail that I want to address here. I do squeegee horizontally, left to right or right to left, whichever, but I always keep, if you notice, a slight angle on my squeegee, pointing about 20 degrees so that the water pushes down as opposed to come back up over my squeegee, which could cause more problem. It's still at real gentle. Then come in with our easy reach, squeegee anything on the side. And now we're just going to do the same thing one more time. This time we're locking it in place using our blue mats. I'm using a little bit more pressure, trying to extract as much moisture as I can. Use my easy reach one more time. From here, I'm just going to wipe my door, making sure I don't leave any slip here for the clients. Use my microfiber towel as well, and just gently, with no pressure, just clean the glass. And from the outside as well. From here, I'm going to look at a few things. Do I have light gaps on the left or the right? And do I have contamination? If I don't, then I am good. This can go back to the client. And that's how you do a two-stage on a Toyota Tacoma.